الحمد لله لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر سبحان الله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. You can say it once or 100 times or more. You feel a peace inside and it'll open every door. That's the power of remembering Allah. It's the best way to purify your heart. You know you will be loved by the merciful one. 'Cause that's the power of remembering Allah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah La ilaha illallah Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah walhamdulillah La ilaha illallah Allahu Akbar. So much you can gain just by saying those few words. You can renew your faith and be showered in reward. Oh, that's the power of remembering Allah. It's the best way to purify your heart. You know you will be loved by the merciful one. 'Cause that's the power of remembering Allah. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, alhamdulillah. Masih sondele buyuala. Ukulubu fitu. Sisotolobu bila.
Assalamu alaikum. A warm welcome to School Matters. Yes, it's me, Sumaya Khan, with you on this chilly day here in Durban. Can you believe how quickly the year has gone? We're already a week to go, and for our grade 12 learners, the countdown is real. Only 28 days before those final exam begins. It feels like just the other day we were talking about the start of the year, and now we are here right at the finish line. Gosh, alhamdulillah, a good year. To all our matriculants listening in, stay focused, stay strong. And remember, this is your moment. You worked hard to get here, and success is just around the corner. You've got this. As tradition goes, we're back with a powerful lineup designed to inspire and guide our matric learners. The coming shows in these weeks to come, we will have dynamic guests, live on-air tuition, health and fitness, the importance of spirituality, and how to stay motivated and positive. Well, this evening, our guest is no first time to Radio Ansaar. When I mean he's no first time to Radio Ansaar, for you who's listening right now, he was one of the very first people at Radio Ansaar at Kenilworth with his motivation. He was the only motivational speaker I knew at that time. And life coach and an educator who was also a life coach. So we are linking up with him all the way from Cape Town. Our brother ASHRAF MORAAD is going to tell us how we can use the power of dua to maximize your matric results, academic learning and exams, taking and getting the best pass possible. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, we are still trying to link up with Brother ASHRAF MORAAD. You know, over the years, doing special editions of grade 12 learners, especially the matriculants, when I was trying to sort out the timetable of which educator, a matric examiner, or marker, provincially and nationally, I was quite sad because we have lost so many during COVID. Our brother, Mr. Gokul from Burnwood Secondary, he was one of the first person, an educator who was recognized by Mark Shuttleworth. He used to come in for physics, um, you know, and so many other guests and lots of other guests who have retired totally from teaching. So, but again, we do have renowned educators. Even Brother Mike Shadrach, he's retired too. He used to come for maths. And even Musa Khan, who's the principal of Rosborough, he and Mr. Gokul used to do tuition at the university for physics and for mathematics, if you can recall. I mean, from back in the day. And also Tanya Fari, she was an Afrikaans tutor and educator, young, pretty lady. And all of a sudden, I remember when I called her to come for one of these, this is like about, I'm going back like, gosh, maybe like 12 to 14 years ago. Her husband picked up a cell phone and told me Tanya was diagnosed with cancer. And from then, she got critically ill. And within like 4 months, she passed away. So may the Almighty, bless, grant Baraka, Janatul Firdaus for everyone who has contributed positively to school matters over the years without payment, just, selflessly giving their time. We used to have MATRIC seminars, career seminars. I just had an email which came on, I'm 32 years old, and I remember the early days of coming to Radio Ansaar, the big hall with a very small studio, and we used to have a MATRIC seminar where different educators used to come and, do exam tips. And the highlight was the food, because then I personally used to go out, which I still do, but then it was like a hell of a lot where I tried to get sponsors, to donate and sponsor food. Yeah, so that was then. But alhamdulillah, we are looking forward for our grade 12s, for embracing another year. And, many of you guys are very stressed and wondering, will I make it? What will I do if I do not make it? Well, again, you have to stay positive. You have to stay motivated, have faith. And, someone just told me, do not focus on all the noise behind you. Focus moving forward. The noise will always be there. You need to concentrate on your goals and to achieve, that outcome, inshallah. Well, we'll be linking up. I think we got a hold of Brother ASHRAF MORAAD. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Sumaya and the listeners of Radio Ansaar.
Wa alaikum salam. Well, it's a pleasure linking up with you all the way from Cape Town. How's the weather in Cape Town?
Well, we had a bit of rain in the morning and sunny in the afternoon. Typical Cape Town, 4 seasons in one day. So
yeah, but you won't believe it. Durban had the exact same thing yesterday and today. Yesterday was a bit freaky, but we had, well, they said it's going to be 29 to 30 degrees. So it was like very hot. Then it got exceptionally cold. Then it got extremely windy where like you could see packets flying in the sky. Even I know at home a flower pot outside my door even then fell down. And then we had heavy rain, rain. So we're also having the 4 seasons.
Okay. Yeah, but I enjoy it in Cape Town, and we look past the weather, and the people are very warm, so that's good.
Okay, inshallah, definitely we're retiring and going to Cape Town, huh? Yes, while we were trying to link up with you, I mentioned you. If you recall, you were not a guest. You were one of the presenters on Radio Ansaar. And I love saying this because especially I know you should always come on and also assist me during this time of the year in the small studio. And you were one of the very first motivational speakers or life coach I knew at that time.
Well,
So
I introduced the genre over 30 30 years ago, I was the first person to speak about personal empowerment and to support people step into their potentials, their higher potentials of expression, the greater possibilities of experiencing. So today, everybody's a life coach, everybody's giving advice. So, but I brought it in over 20 years ago, and even today, I'm bringing in a new frontier to empowerment and beyond life coaching, as you'll see. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to have known you that time and to continue that relationship with you today. Humble
Alhamdulillah.
beginnings, but we still remain humble.
Inshallah. That's the main important thing. We do not lose ourselves.
Yeah. A
They
lot of
always say,
times
you
the
actually
world,
told me,
yes.
you actually told me this. If you really want to know a man, you should know him when he has everything and when he has nothing. Who is
Well,
the man? The
the
character.
person behind the image. So it's about us not trying to find ourselves in the world and not trying to lose ourselves in the world, but being ourselves in the world. And the world, as the Quran says, will take you and swallow you up. Where Satan deceives you, deludes you, the world becomes a place that you get lost in, and you forget about why we are here, what is our purpose. You forget about the akhirah. The Quran says there are those who say they believe in Allah in the last day, but they don't actually believe in Allah in the last day. They think they're lying to Allah, but they only lie to themselves. In their hearts is a disease,
Hmm.
and that disease is expanded. That's what the Quran
Hmm.
says. They are astray, they're left astray, and they do not perceive it. So ultimately, the person, whether it's a man or woman, is the heart. What is the level of cleanliness and purity and soundness of the heart? That's the person. And so that's the challenge, which sadly, a lot of people don't understand. They get lost in the roles, the identities, they get
Hmm.
lost in this world, forgetting that there's the afterlife. They say they believe in Allah in the last day, but they lie to themselves, the Quran says. So there's many Muslims like that. They say they believe in a, but the heart, the Quran says, woe to those who stand in prayer, but their hearts lack the smallest of kindnesses.
Yeah,
So
that's so
it's all
important.
about the person, the heart,
Yeah.
not the image, bank account, that all you can have too. But it's about the heart. The person is the heart. If there's
Yeah.
no heart, there's no person.
Exactly. And in today's time, where everyone is so cool. You know, um, the topic you've decided to have today is such an unusual topic because how many of us really think going the spiritual way, turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, when we are writing our exams? We spend time stressing, are we going to pass? So the floor is yours.
Well, when you asked me to do the program for metrics on, supporting them with the exams, the first thing that came to my mind is I can't do this because not that I was negative, but because there's a lot of matriculants or people might be feeling, let's use dua as a quick fix to get a pass. We want to pass, or can we use dua? Because the right time to speak to matriculants about passing metric is probably in standard 8, at the very latest standard 9. You know what I mean? That's the time to talk to matriculants, in before they are in matric, so that you can
Mm.
position them with the proper mentality and approach to studies and so on and so forth. Then I decided to say, no, I love speaking about Allah and I love speaking about dua because this is a gift Allah has given to us. And I said, look, if there are matriculants out there who have been preparing, then we can support them. We can teach them to invoke Allah to optimize their academic learning at this time, to optimize their exam taking at this particular time, and to optimize them getting the best result possible. So if people read the topic, it's not about using the power of dua to pass your metric. It's using the power of dua to maximize your metric results. So if there's anybody out there who hasn't done their due diligence, if they haven't had a good attitude and approach to studies, and if they're listening to the show hoping to get some relief that Allah is going to suddenly make a miracle and they're going to pass, then you are living in fantasy land. You understand? This is not for that. There's a lot of people who think dua is all about, Allah doing everything and we have nothing to do with it. So whether it comes to health, a lot of people are irresponsible. When they get sick, they ask for healing, but they don't want to, they don't really want to participate. So this is about responsibility. I agreed to speak to
Help
you because
ourselves
of this.
first.
For
We got to
those who
help.
are applying themselves, you can optimize your efforts. That if you have a good attitude, if you are a person who's eating well, if you're a person who's conscious of health, and you can make dua that Allah optimize your health. And if you do come upon sickness, but you are, operating in a way that is beneficial, then there's a chance of recovery and Allah can optimize your health. But if somebody is playing a destructive role, if students are completely abandoning their studies or not giving it the respect that it deserves, then dua is not going to help you. So it's not for those people. So tell me, my sister, what are the duas that Muslim students read, for exams? Do you know
Well,
any?
the famous one, Rabbi Zidni Ilman. That's a famous one we all grew up with.
So that's right. Oh Allah, increase me in knowledge, right? But is that the dua to pass exams? You see, does it say, oh Allah, help me pass my exams? It says no. It says, oh Allah, increase me in
Knowledge.
knowledge, right? So those who want to acquire knowledge, those who want to use knowledge, they can use that dua. But that's not a dua for Allah to pass you in exams, you see. So it's very, and some people don't even know what they're saying. So there's a lot of unconscious, desperate dua making. People are saying, I want to pass exams, and now it's before the exams, 1 minute before, Rabbi Zidni, Allah increase me in knowledge. They don't realize this is what you should be saying standard 9, standard
Our
8,
tech is
along
loud.
the way, while you're
Our
studying, not at the
is
time
actually
of the
not
exam.
disagreeing with you. No, but that's so true. Again, we need to help ourselves. The story of the camel. So we need
Yes.
to help ourselves, first for
So what other
miracles.
duas you know? What other duas you know? What other duas? Come on.
Asif,
Let's see.
other duas?
The other famous
He,
one is the one.
he's saying the same. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
What you got
You can
there?
speak. Okay, you got Rabbi Zindi Imam. Okay, no. That's the famous one I think we grew up with.
Okay, there's another one that, oh Allah, remove the impediment from my speech. It's a dua from Surah Taha. It's Musa alayhi salam. And so that's the one that there's a lot of people who also read that one. But it's really Musa alayhi salam is asking Allah for support, is invoking Allah. Allah had given him a task to do, right? He had a task to do. Now, this is what I want people to understand. We have a task to do. Allah says to Musa alayhi salam, go and tell Pharaoh he is not God. Now Pharaoh is a big shot with army. Musa alayhi salam's got, he's a person, a civilian, and he has a speech impediment. He can't speak properly. He's stuttering. So Allah told Musa alayhi salam, here's a task for you. Go and tell Pharaoh he is not God. So Musa alayhi salam doesn't make a dua, oh Allah, please tell Pharaoh he's not God. You get what I mean? Oh Allah, you must do this for me. Musa alayhi salam is tasked with the responsibility. Students are tasked with the responsibility. It is their mission to fulfill their own responsibility, educational responsibility to themselves. It's their mission to undertake to do the best that they can in MATRIC. If they don't undertake that mission and they want to say, oh Allah, you pass me, you pass me. Moses didn't say that. Musa alayhi salam didn't say that. He said, increase me my chest, meaning strengthen me in strength, courage, right? That was the way of saying, give me courage, because he's just a man and he's got a speech impediment. He has to go to Fir'aun and tell Fir'aun that Fir'aun mustn't think too highly of himself. He's now panicking, right? So he asked Allah, give me the strength. You understand? So students can say, Allah, give me the strength to undertake my mission, to fulfill my task. In fact, that's what he says. Increase me my my chest, strengthen me in my heart, and make my task easy for me. You see, he says, make my task easy for me. He doesn't say, you do my task. I'm not doing anything. You pass me. You make. He says, make my task easy for me. And then he says, remove the impediment from my speech that they may understand what I say. So you have Muslim students reciting verses from the Quran desperately, incorrectly, not even understanding what it means, and hoping and wishing. And this is superstition. This is
mm,
ignorance. You see, we are not taught that. Everybody says, Allah, you make me healthy, but they don't want to undertake the task of eating healthy. Allah says, eat halal and tayyib. Some may eat, most may eat halal, very few might eat tayyib. They get sick and they say, Allah, you cure me. So when you're talking about dua and metric exams, and by the way, this can be used for any other exams, whether you're not in metric, whether you're in other grades, or whether you're in college, whether you're in university, whether you post tertiary, whether you're writing bar exams. You're not too, you can use the power of dua wherever you are for whatever you are undertaking. As long as you are undertaking it, then you can have Allah support you to actually make your task easy for you. Then there's another dua in Arabic, I don't know, but in English it goes like, Allah, you are the one who makes things easy for me, and you can make the difficult easy for me. So that's like getting you into a trust that this is a challenge for me to undertake. But Allah, you have the power to make it easy for me. And you make the
mm,
difficult easy for me. Then there's other du'as like, Allah, I seek refuge in you from anxiety and from laziness. You see, so these du'as can be used right from earlier grades to make sure that by the time you reach matric and going through the academic learning, through the exam taking, to get the best possible pass, not to
mm.
ask Allah to make sure you pass. It's a very big difference.
Yeah. Do you know, this time of the year, stress levels are very high for our learners. You spoke about dua, and many are so afraid. Will they get the best pass possible? Will they get that pass which, gets them to go to the tertiary institution they want to go, or for the career they want to take, especially if it's medicine? It's quite disappointing. A lot of learners with even 9 A's don't even get in. So what advice, I wouldn't say advice, what motivation you have for these learners? Because right
Okay.
now, many learners tend to put all the eggs in one basket thinking, I'm going to do this, but there should be at least three other options.
Okay. So the thing is this: firstly, don't stress out. Allah is the giver of rizq. We all have been born with each one having a potential to receive rizq, right? So we don't trust in Allah. This is the thing. And we don't know that one way or another, we can have the optimal outcome for who we are. So what happens is matriculants and their parents usually, or those writing matric and their parents, they get too hung up on what's going to happen after university. And then they start attaching to certain careers. And now they're creating unnecessary stress. You understand? When you have
Yeah.
faith in Allah, like, look, what I studied and what I'm doing. In the world, all you got to do is make a contribution. That's all you got to do. It might be a doctor. If I was a doctor compared to this, I'll be very sad, because what we were
Mm,
speaking about earlier on is your heart, the person you are. You must remain true to you, even if
mm,
that means you being a baker, and you can be the best baker who everybody loves your baking, and you're not a doctor or you're not some big shot. You can, the bakers who can make more money than doctors, you know what I mean? People who can start restaurants or provide food. So you must never freak out. This is what I would
mm,
advise young people, that Allah has given you rizq. You each have a capacity within you to provide contribution in the world. You'll always have enough, and you can have more than enough in whatever career you do. So people get scared that it's only this, that, or the other, and they attach. It might not be best for them, but they're attached. But if you know that you are really passionate about something and that you want to spend your life in that particular career, then that can inform you. And if you're informed by that, then you can always make dua, separate dua, got nothing to do with your metric.
Mm.
See, you said people writing metric worry about the situation after metric. That is a different dua. Your rizq, your future, your contribution, the role you're playing in society, that's a different dua from metric. For metric, you got to focus on metric and doing the best you can. There's nothing
Yeah.
more, nothing less. You understand? So
Mm.
people disempower themselves. People create stress unnecessarily. That is actually holding them back. You can only do the best you can do. That's as far as it goes. With your own efforts and invoking Allah, everybody can do the best they can do. I did the best I could do in metric with my three C's, a D, and two E's, right? I am very happy in life. I'm very comfortable. I always say to people, those who were in the A's bracket, when they went to university, they thought they were big shots, but when they got there, when they came second, it finished them. They couldn't
Yeah.
even complete their degrees. The people who do the best in school don't always achieve the most in life. That is from actual statistics. Those who are mid or higher than mid, average and up, and sometimes even lower than average, in the long game can have a much more enjoyable experience of life because they're not perfectionists and they're very comfortable with doing their best and they're accepting of themselves. So oftentimes those who do very well in school do horribly bad in life. So you got to
Yeah.
relax. Whatever, I wasn't good at school, but I am good at connecting with Allah. I'm good with connecting with people. I'm good with caring for people and so on and so forth. So you just got to do your best in school with your own application and invoking Allah at every step of the way to do your best. You just got to focus. Nothing is more expected.
As you're talking for listeners, for those who are listening to you, you were a counselor back in the early days. You were an educator,
Yes,
counselor,
yes,
correct?
yes. A life
So
skills
you had,
facilitator, school counselor, the private school in Durban. Yes,
yes, and you have had hundreds of students, thousands through your hands, giving them
yes.
realistic advice.
Yes.
Realistic
I'm
advice.
reminded about one student whose father came to see me after he got two scholarships and got into actuarial science and medicine. A parent's dream, a student's dream. And the father came to me and said, Ashraf, I don't know what you've done. I said, what do you mean what you've done? He said to me, my son was in special class in primary school. And
Yeah.
this young boy, during the breaks, used to come sit with me because he felt awkward. So I told him, what do you like doing? So I started
Mm.
tasking him. We had clubs and societies in the school. So I told him, help me establish these clubs and societies. Just by getting him to socialize, interact, feeling
Mm.
confident, getting things going, his confidence grew to the point where his own father could not believe his results. So you see, I didn't focus on telling him, get A's. I told him, do the best you can. I'll help you do the best you can. His confidence started building because he was doing better and better. Not the best, he was doing better
Mm.
and better. And then he started feeling good about his capacity. And then on his own, I never told him to get 7 A's or whatever. He went and did it on his own. Nobody told him to do it. You see, so it's about getting confidence in life about your abilities. If you get 60%, go for 65. Then you feel more confident. If you got 65, go for 70. You get more confident. From 70, go for 80. It's small wins. It's not 100%. You see, it's not about
Yeah.
focusing. The moment you focus on I need 100% or 80%, guess what happens? Your motivation drops right down. Your fear levels go up. But if you say, can I do slightly better than what I did? Can I do by 5% more over the year as you go through? And as you start getting 5% more, 10% more, to 10, and suddenly you start realizing, I can do this. And now you're not
Mm.
fretting when you look at the examination that what if I don't get that 100% or that A? You'll be like, I'm comfortable with the C, but as I enjoy studying, I've gone to a B. Why not go for the A plus anyway? You see, so the whole
Mm,
focus is off. And that's what I learned when I was in the school. There were so many other girls there whose mothers were so critical with them. When they got the 7 A's, they told me, I can't believe they made mistakes. They told me. I said,
mm,
nobody made a mistake, your own criticism. So people's attitude with themselves and how they relate to themselves, it's better that you feel more confident from 60 to 65% than go for 90%, 95% and get 80% and feel demotivated. You get what I mean? So when you set
mm.
realistic expectations, they always sell aim high. I tell you that's nonsense. Aim low so you get your aim, so you surpass your aim, you feel good about yourself. That good feeling is more valuable to you than the result that you actually produce. So somebody might say aim for an 80. I will say if you're 60, aim for 65. You'll get
Mm.
70. When you
Being
get
realistic.
70, you look at the 65, you'll say it's more than realistic. Be I'm not saying it's not about realistic here, right? It's about aim low so you
Mm.
overshoot it. When you overshoot it, you realize I can do this. That gives you confidence to go back with more confidence. You're more resourced, you see. So the sort of approach that people have out there, I don't agree with it. And I've had results with people where their parents have told me, we don't know what you did with this. And I've never forced anybody to do anything other than just do better than what you can do, slightly better. Can you aim small, higher, a small win? And this is what I do with adults as well. I tell them it's more
Mm.
important for you to build your confidence than to get better grades. A lot of people have top grades out of stress and strain. The moment their grade drops, their confidence plummets. You got to have,
Depression.
like me, I'm so confident to tell you I had 3 C's, a D, and 2 E's. I can say with a big grin on my face. My sister got 7 A's, summa cum laude. She had summa cum laude all her years through med school, right until the final. But I'm her brother, and I'll tell you, I had 3 C's, a D, and 2 E's, with a big smile on my face. The idea is not to go for first position, second position, or third position. I always say people stay in the game. In life, stay in the game. Because the moment you go from first position to second position, you get crushed. The person who's in second position is looking at the first position person saying, I missed out. The third person is saying, look at the first and second, I'm a loser. But if you are
Mm.
in the game, just stay in the game. You don't have to be perfect. Stay in the game, live your life on your own speed, enjoy your life while other people are getting pimples and disease and stressing. Just
Mm.
have confidence in yourself and your best, and Allah will show you a path that is for you, you see. So I
You
know this
know,
is not popular. Always you'll know, Sumaya, I don't
yeah,
give the popular rhetoric. You know what I mean? I don't give the usual BS. You know what BS is? It's belief
yeah.
system. I don't give the usual
I
belief
thought you
system.
were
I tell it
talking
as
about
it
the
is.
other BS.
Yeah, no,
As if,
that too.
you know,
Yes.
um, right now, a lot of parents are stressing about their learners. Will
Yes.
the child make it? I am so stressed.
Yes.
Gosh, it'll be like such an embarrassment. I know of so many colleagues and family members who have their children for the very first time, the very first child writing, doing grade 12 and going to write the matric exams. And they are like so stressed. And some of
That's
them
not
like were
making
saying,
it any easier. You see, what
exactly.
I learned when I work with people, whether they're in school or the more relaxed I am, the more relaxed they become. So a lot of people feel we have to worry. If we don't worry, we won't do well. We have to fear. And that is a crippling. It's not supporting your body, the moment you become afraid, blood stops going to your frontal lobes, right? Your frontal lobes are in your brain, they're part of your brain. You need them to study. The
Mm,
more relaxed and alert you are, the
mm,
better it is for you while studying, while writing exams. You can think properly. So a lot of these people, students, are upsetting themselves. They are doing less than their best. The parents are upsetting themselves. This is all a lack of faith as far as I'm concerned.
yeah.
This is a diseased heart. This is the lack of trust. So
Mm,
this is what say shaitan is all about, this, right? Shaitan is
mm,
the enemy avowed. Shaitan will tell you, I'm telling you good news, work hard, worry, stress. Shaitan, the Quran says, I suppose the most important dua we must make is A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Allah protect me from the one who whispers and retreats, because that's the thing that's setting off on the wrong path, you see. So
Yeah.
the parents are not relaxed. They're stressing the children out. The children are feeling that if I do poorly, now what are my parents going to think of me? My parents' reputation. They got more things to worry. All you got to do is focus on your studies, relax, give it the time, invoke Allah in the ways that I was sharing, move forward calmly. You'll do the best you can do, and that will be all right. And what your future will be in the hands of Allah. You see, but people don't want to hear what I'm saying because Shaitan is who they like listening to.
That's yeah. What you're saying is spot on. Going to our learners currently, we don't know what they're going through. We don't know. Lots of them have such, as you mentioned, high expectations, and going to themselves, we don't even know whether they are experiencing anxiety or depression currently, because
Yes.
this is a whole new ball game, and there's so much of emphasis and pressure on the grade 12 exams. And
Mm-hmm.
for them, it's like, I'm on the moon now. Will I make it back down to earth? So,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of our learners will not talk. They will not speak about what they're feeling inside them. What advice or motivation you have for them?
Well, what you're saying is it's really an important point, right? After the metric results are usually released, you have people hanging themselves, killing themselves in different ways, right? That's usually what happens. And if they don't do it because the religion doesn't allow it, they do it emotionally anyway. They hate themselves, they give up, they feel they let themselves down, they feel their parents down. This is like shirk as far as I'm concerned. This is making something that's important more important than what it is. And whether it's the educators and whether it's the students and whether it's the parents, you got to realize you're making something that's important more important than what it is. Living in this world as a believer, dying as a believer, being raised up as a believer is the really most important things. Having iman in your heart, remembering Allah, having Allah with you, protecting you. This is more important. It's more important that your children have actual iman. You understand? That's the most important thing. Because with that, they can go through life feeling relaxed and trusting
Mm,
in Allah. The Quran
yeah.
says, let the believers in Allah put their trust. Now, all
Mm,
you are talking about is no trust, no trust, me, what I need, I need, I need, I need. This is keeping away Allah's support. So, in a sense, the system, even in Muslim schools, it's messed up. You know what I mean? This is upsetting. This is not education. This is like some heavy, high pressurizing, ringing somebody out, kind of freaking some people out. It's not supposed to be like that in a healthy way. You're supposed to give them support. This is not
mm,
giving young people support. They require our support. The educators are freaking them out. The parents are freaking them out. These poor children, God knows what they're going through and the distress. And after the result comes out, how that affects them for the rest of their life. You understand? This is I hate to say it, but the type of abuse that is going on in schools today, the way you're describing it, and what
You know,
happens.
you'll agree. I think the main thing is that school wants 100% pass rate, all the schools. So that's the only focus. We don't care how you climb that mountain, whether you break a leg, lose an arm,
Shame
but
on
we
them,
want
man.
the
Shame
top.
on them. Shame on them.
But
Shame on
that's
them.
the
Not
reality.
interested in the learner. Shame on the parents, my sister. Not interested in their children and the children. Shame on the teachers and shame on those institutions who are capitalizing on young people's lives. You know what I mean? They want it for themselves. They don't care about them. This is the world in which we live. This is the world I see all around me every day, where people are only interested in themselves, selfishness. They're not interested in a learner. If a school is not interested in a learner and the learner getting the best education, supported to get the best pass, those schools have failed. Let me tell you that they can get 100% pass rate. They are going
Yeah.
to hell. They are in hell and going to hell. They have failed the learner. The learner might get 100%, but the learner has been failed. You understand? That's my opinion. It's not the opinion of Ansaar, by the way. Just my opinion. Yeah.
Views and opinions of our guest.
Yes. Yes.
Rounding up
Yes.
to the learners right now who is listening to you.
Yes.
I know you said
what
a lot.
I'm about to tell you and everybody is probably the most important thing about dua that can be said, right? The Quran says Allah is closer to you than your own jugular veins, right? And if you call upon him, he'll surely answer if you're a believer. You can't be freaked out about this dunya and expect Allah to respond to you. You understand? You're telling Allah that the dunya is more important than him and your iman. So the first thing you got to know is iman is the most important. You must freak out if you don't have iman. But if you're freaking out about the world and dunya, then you must know that's not really a believer, right? So as a believing Muslim who wants to have any success and wants to use dua, you've got to release all worry, stress, and strain. You got to be very relaxed when you're making dua, because if you're stressed and strained, you are with Satan and you're not with Allah. So if you are relaxed, you must focus on what is the experience you want to have like it already had. What I'm saying to you is you got to pray for what you want and from what you want. You must show Allah what you want. So for example, if you want to have an experience, you want to study, you have a study session. So see yourself enjoying the study session and receiving as much information as you can. Say, Allah, I wish I'm engaging the study session and I'd like to enjoy the study session having received as much as I can. If you're writing an exam, see yourself writing the exam, enjoying writing the exam, and being resourceful and feeling good about it. That, oh Allah, I'm about to write an exam. This is the experience I want to have. Regarding your results, you can say, I want to be pleased with my results. For the effort I put in, I want to be pleased with my results. You see, so the thing about dua, don't focus, I don't want to fail. What if I do poorly? Because that's shaitan for making you focus on what you don't want. Dua is about being relaxed, focusing on Allah and the potential and possibilities that exist.
Well, I have messages coming in. ASHRAF MORAAD, you're 100% correct. Muhammad Yusuf Seaview. It's like gorging up assignments, lessons, and going to the exam room and vomiting it all out to get the 80%, 90%, 100%.
Is that really an education?
Yeah, well, you know what? You are hitting it on the head. You're being, as I always say, Ashraf Murad is realistic. What I like about you, you're a bit like me. We say the way it is, over and done. We're not flowering it. But alhamdulillah, dua is so important. There's another message where duas are coming in. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sumaya. These are two other duas that are very beneficial for studying and exams. But of course, we have to tie our camels as well in order to achieve success. Brother Ashraf Murad, definitely school matters. Our new special tradition of starting our MATRIC exams. You are the one who opened it up with dua.
All right.
Okay. Jazakallah so much for linking up with us.
Welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you, listeners, for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That's all from School Matters today. A truly inspiring session reminding us to stay spiritually, pray and trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, all as we prepare for the exams. Inshallah, this is the start of many special editions for grade 12 learners, and even if you are in high school or even just a learner or in tertiary. Jazakallah to our guest, Brother Ashraf Murad, and to our tech Asif for always making this so great for me. Sumaya Khan, from me, my email address is sumayakhan.alansar@outlook.com. Start your studies with Bismillah. Success begins with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name. Your hard work is your ibadah. Study with the right intentions. Pray not just for results, but for focus, calmness, and clarity. Discipline today means freedom tomorrow. Every hour counts. Assalamu alaikum.
وسلم وبارك على محمد محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد.